MMA Boxing Talk here, coming at you with another video. This video is going to be a breakdown prediction video on the fight coming up this Saturday between Anthony Rumble Johnson and Ryan Darth Bader. It's going to be on free TV, UFC on Fox 18, so it's on Fox. We can all watch it for free. It's awesome. Now, I'll start off just talking about Ryan Bader a little bit. He, for one, he's a phenomenal wrestler. There's no disputing that. Division I, All-American wrestler. This is an elite level wrestler. He's awesome. Now, for those of you who don't know exactly what All-American means when you're talking about wrestling, basically what that means is in one particular year, and in his particular division, his weight class, he finished top 8 in the country. So that's really impressive. I mean, so also a boxer that, well, he's not a boxer, but he's a decent boxer. He's got a good left hook, but wrestling, that's his forte, right? I mean, striking, that's Anthony Johnson's forte. Now, Anthony Rumble Johnson, this is a fucking killer. Okay, this guy is probably the most explosive fighter in the UFC, and if he isn't, I'd like to see somebody that's more explosive than him, because I don't know who that is. He's the man when it comes to explosiveness. Extremely powerful. He gets lots and lots of knockouts. I don't even know the exact amount. I didn't actually go through his all of his fights to count him. It's too bad in UFC it doesn't on the UFC website it won't count how many knockouts he has in total like boxing does, BoxRec or whatever. So, but that's too bad. I didn't count them, but you can go and count them. There's a shit ton. Just a guy that you got to be very, very careful and cautious when you fight against him, because this is a guy that you don't want to trade with. He's very explosive, very fast, very powerful, very dangerous. Now I want to talk a little bit about each guy and their more previous, last 5 fights or so. Ryan Bader, start off with him. He's on a 5-fight win streak. Doing very, very well. Started off, this win streak started in 2013, I believe. I think it's 2013. Okay, late 2013. He beat Anthony Perosh. Now, I just want to throw this out there. All these 5 wins in a row for Ryan Bader, they're all unanimous decisions. Sorry, one's a split decision, but the rest of them are unanimous decisions. They're all decisions. Starting off, he beat Anthony Perosh in 2013. He got a lot more strikes. It's saying 70-9. I mean, I don't know if it was that wide, but he definitely won that fight. The next one, in June 2014, he fought Rafael Cavalcante. Another unanimous decision, good win. Then he fought OSP, Ovin St. Preux, which was summer of 2014. Got another 5-round unanimous decision. That was a 5-round because it was the main event on that card. I think that's the only time he's ever went 5 rounds. Yeah. So that's another thing. Ryan Bader's only been in one 5-round fight, but Rumble Johnson's not really a type of guy that's known for going the distance and getting all these unanimous decision wins, but I'll get to that later. So after he beat OSP, he fought Phil Davis. He got a split decision on Phil Davis. Now, Phil Davis is as much as people don't like him, they don't like his personality, they don't like his boring style or whatever. He is very, very good at what he does. He's a phenomenal wrestler. His back is insanely huge. Just a guy personally I don't like. But Ryan Bader got a good win off or against him, which is huge. And then his most recent fight, he beat Rashad Evans in October of 2015, just last year. Now, Rashad Evans, I do have to admit, he was coming off of quite a lengthy layoff. I just want to double check how long exactly it was. I'm going to say close to 2 years. Yeah, 1 month shy of 2 years. So, Ryan Bader's on this crazy winning streak, and he faces Rashad Evans, but a Rashad Evans that hadn't fought in 2 years. So sure, it's a big name, but it's not a big name that's sharp, and obviously he's not in his prime. He's well past his prime. But regardless, he got the win. It was to me, it was extremely obvious that he was beating Rashad Evans. Rashad didn't really seem to be any type of test for Ryan Bader, which is impressive. I mean, the 2 years off for Rashad Evans or not, he still went out and beat this guy, Rashad Evans, who has a lot of experience. I mean, he's a legend, Rashad Evans. He really is. So that's his 5-fight win streak. Now, let's talk about Anthony Rumble Johnson real quick. We'll talk about his last few fights. Okay, so he's won 4 out of his last 5 fights. Starting off April 14th, he beat Phil Davis. He beat Phil Davis unanimous decision, where Bader beat him split decision. Just want to throw that out there. But Anthony Johnson, like I said, not a guy really known for getting decision wins. This is a knockout guy. But he decisioned Phil Davis, which I don't think anyone would have expected, because Phil Davis is just he's the type of guy that just sucks the life out of a fighter, and gets those decisions. So that's an impressive win. Then he stopped Little Nog Antonio Nogueira in the first round in 2014. And then Anthony Rumble Johnson had one of his biggest fights of his career, probably the biggest fight of his career in my opinion, most relevant, most recent as well. Not most recent, but in recent times. That was against against Alexander the Mauler Gustafsson. So Rumble fought Gustafsson. That was the beginning of 2015. I'll never forget that fight. I definitely had Gustafsson winning that one for the simple fact that he had went the distance with John Jones, and the year before that, or 2 years before that, and nobody had ever done what Gustafsson did to John Jones. Nobody had ever had a close fight with John Jones like that. He pushed him to his limits. And so I thought Gustafsson was going to take this, take Rumble, no problem. That wasn't the case. Actually, I'll never forget this. Well, okay, so Anthony Rumble Johnson gets a first round TKO against the Mauler Gustafsson. Mauler's like 6'5". He's an amazing fighter. But I'll never forget in that fight, Anthony Rumble Johnson got poked in the eye by Gustafsson, and there was a pause. Obviously, the ref stopped it for a minute, gave Rumble a chance to check his eye, and anyway, so when they squared off again, Gustafsson's corner was yelling to Rumble, front kick, front kick, front kick. So Rumble knew the front kick was coming, or he heard the coach, whatever. He caught Gustafsson's leg, landed a huge shot after getting eye poked, and then just poured it on. And I mean, like, poured it on. And he finished Gustafsson in the first round, which was phenomenal. So that was a really, really big win. Then he was supposed to fight John Jones for the title. But John Jones got stripped. He got stripped of his title. So they made a they made a vacant title for Anthony Rumble Johnson and Daniel Cormier. And they fought, and Cormier beat Anthony Johnson. He broke Anthony Johnson. It was a good fight. It was a close fight, but in the end, Daniel Cormier, he broke him, and he submitted him in the third round, rear naked choke, I believe. Then Rumble Johnson bounced back against Jimmy Manuwa. He got a second round TKO, dominated that fight. Amazing performance. Manuwa, he's an alright fighter. Like, he's a good fighter. He went the distance with Rumble, or with Gustafsson. He's a good fighter. So that's his last few fights. Now, moving on to the breakdown. Ryan Bader, what this guy needs to do is he needs to be patient. He needs to let Rumble tire himself out, because Rumble Johnson, this guy, he doesn't have all the cardio in the world. This is a guy that gasses in his fights. He really does. And this is a guy that can be broken in his fights, like DC did to him, like Vitor did to him, Vitor Belfort. Now, Bader has to weather the storm. If he can get out of that first round, I like his chances a little bit more. But if he can get past the second round, I think Bader's going to take it. I think. Now, Rumble went the distance with Phil Davis before, but that was a 3-round fight. This is a 5-round fight, and Rumble, that's not his game. He's not used to grinding guys out, or just, winning unanimous 5-round decisions. He's never done it. So I can't expect him to do that. Bader, I can see him, if he wins, I could see him winning by a unanimous decision, grinding him out, maybe getting a submission. I could see him possibly breaking Rumble in the later rounds if he can weather the storm in the first two rounds. Like I said, Bader's got a good left hook. He's a decent boxer, and he's on this great win streak. He's a smart fighter. He's the type of guy that could possibly give Anthony Rumble Johnson problems. Anthony Rumble Johnson, he's the type of guy that wants to fight a guy that wants to trade with him. He wants to fight another striker so he can just maul him and friggin', overpower the guy basically at his own game. So he's going to try to do that. He's going to try to come out and just knock Bader the fuck out. So that's going to be fun to watch. The first few rounds are going to be great. Now, this is a huge fight for both guys. I mean, if Bader wins, he definitely gets a title shot. If Rumble wins, he definitely gets a title shot. They'll be facing the winner of John Jones or DC, which will be friggin' awesome. They're fighting, I believe, in April. It's not announced yet, but I think it'll be April. Now, Bader has been stopped before. He's been stopped by Glover Teixeira in the first round. Now, Rumble is a much more deadlier version of Glover Teixeira. He just is. He's more explosive. He's faster. And he's I don't know about stronger, but he's faster and more explosive. And he generates just as much power, probably more, than Glover. And Glover stopped Bader in the first round. Bader's went on to be very good since 5-round unanimous decision, or a five fight win streak, all decisions, which is impressive. So he needs this win. Rumble needs this win. They both need this win. It's going to be a great fight. It's yin and yang. You got Rumble, this ridiculous striker. He's all about striking, all about finishing you, all about kicking your ass. And then you got Bader, who's a smarter fighter, I believe. He's a more technical fighter in certain aspects. He's a guy that is going to try to submit you. This is a guy that's going to try to wear you down and win. He's going out there to win on points, much more than Rumble is. Rumble's out there to go for the finish. That's his game. That's what he's going to try to do. This is a tough fight to predict. I really do believe if Bader can get past the first 2 rounds, I think he'll win it. But the question is he going to be able to weather the storm for 2 rounds? Which Personally, I don't think he's going to be able to do. Rumble is a much more elite. He's more an elite fighter right now today because he's beat Manoa, and it's more specifically Anthony. I keep saying Anthony. Alexander Gustafsson, that's Rumble's beat. He's a big name. Bader doesn't have anyone on his resume in his last 5 fights that compare to a guy like Alexander Gustafsson. I don't think he could beat Alexander Gustafsson, but that's a different story. So I really do think Rumble is going to get the finish in the first or second round. He's going to get the KO, TKO finish, whatever it is. I got to put my money on Rumble. This is a guy, he can stop anybody. But like I said, that's my prediction. That's what I think. But if Bader can weather that storm for the first 2 rounds, I think he's got a good chance of winning it. So it'll be a good, interesting fight. But my prediction is Anthony Rumble Johnson, first or second round, stoppage. That's it for this video. If you liked the video, subscribe. I'm on Twitter, MMA Boxing Talk, at MMA Boxing Talk 1, and MMA Boxing Talk on Instagram. So check that out, and stay tuned for more videos. I'll be putting out a Sergey Kovalev and or Jean Pascal 2 prediction video for you boxing fans. I'll be putting that out before Saturday. That's it for this video. MMA Boxing Talk. Peace.